Okay, we are back. We have another CSM20 interview. And right before we get into this, I just want to remind you guys the reason that I'm doing these interviews is so you can find out a little bit more about the candidate and their issues and what they'll stand for if you vote for them. But this is also for my two communities, Eve Rookies and Worm Life, so that my management and my community team can figure out who to put on the ballots. I don't actually do this myself. It is up to my team to basically put these together so I can stay as neutral as possible. So now we're going to get into it. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, hey, my name is Kane Carnifex. I play this game for 14 years, and I would say my second reunion with Eve was the time, or is the time with Brave right now, with doing the Brave Dojo stuff, YouTube stuff, explaining Eve to veterans and new players, giving tips and tricks, and how's it called? Braveness to enter the ESS and take a fight on a one-on-one just to prove them that their chip choice is working. And yeah, you see me on FanFest. I'm also one of the people which running the Just About thingy very well. Like I have 204 wins, so somehow I'm gathering all the bounties. And then you see the nice banners on FanFest and the other merc stuff and everything. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome. So this is your second time running for CSM?
I think it could be the third time. I'm not
Okay.
sure. I'm not tracking that. There's always coming the eager to join the CSM to give some feedback or to like really interact with CCP directly. Um, but it was always like, let's say, it's not the experience I had. I was not doing the background thingy and all the interaction what I have right now. So more like from like, hey, I'm a nullsec guy, and I want to represent nullsec, and these are my ideas. So we fix ESS, we do this, and we do this, and everything else in the game I don't care. And honestly, looking back at to like campaigning like this, I mean, I was young. I didn't grow, or I didn't was grown up to this time. So we changed that. So we're going a little bit bigger.
Great. Then why don't you go ahead and tell us what your platform is this year?
I'm platforming for like the one thing which is a little bit joking about is we have a game which is very very old, and we should copy paste some AAA features. Same for quality of life stuff and everything what we have. And I'm highly sure there is a very long list of features, updates, and small stuff which are funneled into the game in the timeline when the devs have time. So I'm actually want to see how they prioritize stuff and how long it takes. And also, what is a big point is it the same budget area for other stuff? So is it sharing team? Is it the same workforce for like doing something else? Looking at that, and then maybe to help prioritize what's like more important for the player base, in special looking for like how can I hook up new players and in special like returning players. So imagine you stop the game for 5 years and you come back and then you feel like, oh yeah, some stuff changed, but a lot of quality stuff is still the old stuff. I cannot stack, I cannot do this. There's always new stuff coming. So I just learned that the watch list has now a button for editing the coloring, so the editing mode.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one point. Give this game a little bit AAA love. And also we're happy to steal and copy from other games because hey, we had the older one. We're not stealing, we just forgot about it. We are learning first. And the other point is event stuff. So now we have the Crimson Harvest, and I was like saying I want to see a little bit more love in the events, a little bit more guidance from CCP, because the events are the stuff which people log in and want to try out. What we have right now with the biosecurity sites, for example, is you have a really nice entrance in high sec with like frigates to try out. Then you go into low sec and you you go up for T1 Desis, for example, and you do your stuff. You maybe get blown up because there's PvP now. And then you have the option to, like, if you anyway in Nilesec, or you have the option to do day tripping, or you go wormholes, you do the level 3 in a T3 Desi and show off if you can survive the waves. And I really like how the scaling is. So there's coming more NPCs. It's taking ideas from the abyssals. So you see that, for example, if there's a stalking Gamor, you know, ooh, that one is webbing. I should kill that first, but the target painting one, I don't care. So I like these ideas of that, and I also like that they added escalations to the sites and they spread it a little bit around and everything. Also, I hear that the previous CSM or the current CSM intervened that we get the loot drop, which CCP was making a compromise to say, hey, we do the loot drop, but not in high sec. And we're starting on the 10th of October. So we have some time to actually think about how we can program this in postcode and legacy code into the game. To skip high sec. I'm not a programmer, I don't know how complicated it is. So from this part, I love the idea, I love the touching and everything, and it's going in the right direction, and I love it. But we could step a little bit more ahead. I would love to have a community team running like live events where you have an interaction in the game, which we had last time with the Drifter event. So they warped, what was it, like 3 capitals into one system. My idea was like, hey, step it up. Like, we can do events for patch notes in high sec for beginners to give them some reward, which a veteran don't need. Maybe he's eager to know what the next more patch looks like or whatever. But giving people the opportunity to do high sec events to gather information for the patch note before it drops, including some gimmicks, hey, why not? And from there you can also go into, like, let's say you have low sec, so now we come into PvP, and there I was like, I'm recently starting with D&D stuff, and I like the idea and everything, how it works. So whenever you're in a dungeon, you roll in an encounter because how dangerous it is. So on an event level, if I'm the guy which directing it, I have the lawful ones, which like want to help support the convoy going from A to B. And the bad ones, which may be chaotic evil, and that's the players which living in this area and are the pirates, so they want to go for the fight. So I don't need to lead the pirates. They do them themselves. No worries. I'm 100% sure they will come. It was always like this, and it will be forever like this. Once you enter from high sec into low sec or null sec, with an event fleet, you die. So you have the high sec version, the lawful good pilots, which are directed or piloted by GMs or devs or people. Like we have Björn B. So, or we had him. Now he's CCP. So he can lead a fleet in like a fun style or a serious style, depending on the faction. And once they enter low sec, and for example the Sinnoh is lit, he takes a dice, like a d20. He rolls it, and he already has a pre-written sheet with 20 outcomes what will happen if they get dropped. So overwhelming force, because this event is run by a faction like, let's say, Kaldari. Are you thinking Kaldari would go into low sec without coverage? Just dying? Come on. I mean, it's still an NPC force and a faction, and we can make them as big as possible we want. So they're running Jita, so Björn rolls the dice, and out of nowhere, some NPC spawn, some diamond rats, to make it a little bit more spicy for the pirates to engage, because just slaughtering noobs, it's fun for them, kind of. Having some shiny ships in it to kill, also nice. But giving them a nice spicy fight to like said, hey, if I can kill this howler and there is something nice in it which is valued because it's event loot, but it's just about like, oh, these people which I have right now in fleet, that's not enough or not good enough. I just drop some diamond rats or some GM spawn with like a drop from Black Ops or whatever. You have many options to do. So you have the events. And there's nothing for Nilesec because we go back. EVE is a sandbox game and player driven. So people should learn stuff in high sec, experience in low sec, and then write their own story in null sec and wormhole space, including Poshwin. Because I think this is always, you can have beginners in this space and teach them and have them on the hand. But in the end, I would say there's like these classes, and in best case, you go from the beginner classes to the end classes. But I don't mind having people jumping directly into wormhole stuff, making their own history in Eve, because they have 3 friends playing the game and they're already sitting in a C5 or something. He gets the best training experience in the game from veterans in a very personal training. So that's what you pay extra if you do skiing, for example. So they are covered. But the other ones which don't have these options, they need to have like kind of these ways. Which would be the other one I'm looking for, how say it, certified, verified, qualified corporations. So people which opt in for, we have it already, like Eve University and Eve Rookies and the wormhole space from you. So we have that. But I want to give them a quality emblem or something, which people now, if I want to experience wormhole space, I go into this specific corporation which has some, let's say, special rules. So there's no scamming inside. If you do that, you get banned because it's noob safe space. And the other people which working in that space, let's say wormhole, for example, I don't mind if there are people which say I'm a day tripper in C1. I can do classes. I would love to do classes for this specific corporation, and he joins as an incubator, so teaching the people, and then when people are like, oh yeah, I really love that, then he gets the option to like, you can join his corporation. But now it comes to following. This is Eve. It's big, and there's a lot about people losing game. You're now on the start. You're a beginner, so there's not much happening if you get scammed. So should not happen. But then people can get new people out of corporations, which people like to play for. So you have the low sec one, the high sec one, the nice sec ones, and they feed into the others. So for example, there would be one player corporation for nullsec feeded by all the big ones. So Fred, Imperion, Init, like everybody, what we have, the whole group, everybody who want to participate. And they do, for example, let's say they do Nipsey nullsec fleets, stuff like that. And then people can decide if they want to go into the direction of Fred or anything else in nullsec, or they say, I don't need that at all. So to give guidance to players to just follow and then hand them over into player-driven sandbox style.
Those are some really interesting ideas.
I mean, it's the other way around. Like everybody else is doing like balancing stuff and this, and I'm like, yeah, balancing is nice, but I don't have the numbers from CCP. And if I can look into the backside of the game, and CCP can tell me, oh yeah, you want to know how much desis are bought in the whole game on patch day for this new event, I can show you. I can also show you which one is the most used, which one is the most died, what weapon system, everything. I can't see that. I need to try that out. People need to tell me that here I tried it with the treasure fleet issue and it doesn't work. Stuff like that. So I have one person telling me exactly this information, but CCP has in the backgrounds like everything, and from their perspective, it makes it much easier to pass a balance check or something than listening to the voices in the internet, which all screaming something, and the one group which screams the loudest, they get the balance, and like that's not how it works.
Okay, well, like I say,
My
that's
opinion.
pretty interesting ideas, but let's go ahead and jump into some player experience questions. The first one that's up is, what do you think right now the biggest barrier to brand new players undocking is?
Oh, I think it's a money problem. Like how much ISK you get in reverse to how fast you lose it. So there is an how to say it? There is a misunderstanding of which kind of ship I need to undock to kill something else, and there is a missing guidance of if I undock a bigger ship, I can kill anything below, which is sometimes true, but the other way around is a lot of small ships can kill every shiny ship in the game
Oh, yes,
without any
indeed.
issue.
Yes,
Just
indeed.
need to get it. So, what I experience is like once money doesn't count, or at a certain level, you can unlock your Drake and you don't care how often you lose this Drake. Um, you feel like, yeah, I can unlock this Drake, but it's not doing anything because they still kiting away. I need to get an interceptor, for example, or an Atron and support the fleet and give them some options. And if you look then down to this perspective, an Atron done with vexor rating or something, including SRP, what you get back, like sometimes you get 120% for certain ships to support certain behaviors in fleets or in playstyles. You actually make ISK by making PvP.
Okay.
So if it's about PvE and all the other stuff, people will continue undocking and do their ISK in the best way they can do, and also stepping up into the higher tiers. So if you go Vexor, Myrmidon, Dominix, Ishtar, Stormies, they will continue this chain. But I think the real thing is, if I get tackled in my ship, I want people to eager for PvP to kill the other guy, and not to sit in the station and be like, well, I have fitted this awesome Tango, but it's 800 mil. Should I undock? Should I? No, I'm dead. So okay. So he didn't unlock the Tengu, and now we have another nice ship, which is a dust collector. It looks awesome. It's maybe quite expensive for this player, but I have the feeling he will never undock it. Because if you then be alone, it's bad. So it's a little bit about giving new players the communication stuff to bring, small stuff, and then learning the experience. Actually, to play small gang and beat up into like bigger groups. It's easy to say if you always get punched from these people if they
Mm-hmm.
kite you away, damp you down with a Karis, but at the moment you realize your biggest problem is the Karis, I should try out the Maulers just to see what happens. And once you're on grid with the Maulers and you win the damp war against the Karis, because the Karis actually needs to also damp critical damage targets because we are shooting them. You actually win the damp war on this Karis on an AT pilot flying an 400 mil Karis, and you sitting there in your 5 mil T1 Maulers, yeah, damping this ship. You will see how fast they warp off once of their ships starting to like
Right.
really bleeding into something, because they're like, yeah, hey, don't have a point, but in this 10 minutes we had that fight. This one guy which died in his Atron, in his Drake, in his 800 mil Tengu, he made then the decision what he learned from these 3 kills. I always couldn't shoot because the Karis was damping me down. So I'm now doing something exactly against this one ship. And the next time when this game comes over, you have this one pilot undocking in a Karis and be like, hey, I'll make them now a hard time because I know what I need to do. And there are 3 other people which like, hey, I want to try that out. Can you teach me how it works? And then we get like a connection, and then they have cheap ships, a nice experience, and they feel valued for the fleet. And that's the same thing we have on the other side from the Wormhole group. There is a reason why they fly 5 ships, 5 bill, or like in total 5 bill, and there is specifically one Karis. And specifically, there is like, let's say a Curse, a Lachesis, or something else. They always have these ships. And if you try to kill the Karis, you unleash the hell of the DPS exactly on you. Because this one pilot says, hey, I cannot do my job because this Ortrus, I cannot damp down and he's shooting me. Can you kill it? And then the whole 5 build fleet is like, yeah, say no more. This Ortrus, gone. And that's what I want to have. I want to have that people experience this way to go and do the communication. You can also just sit still and chat and just read with people, be on crit and be like, hey, they're not catching. They are really fast kiting. If I'm now getting a ship which has only one job, a Punisher with an 50 and micro warp drive, I'm happily to give you that fit, which goes 10k meters per second. Can you burn just behind them? Just burn. You can also even be like 200 away. No worries. Just burn behind them, and then the fleet can just ping pong to you, and we can get on top of them. Try it out. And they will be like, no, you cannot fit in 50 MVD on a Punisher. This doesn't work. And then they see the fit, and they fly a frigate with goes 10Ks, and they're like, okay. So yeah, that's my idea how people should undock. There's the stuff is there. We have the
few
SRP
moments
stuff,
later.
but if you undock on a battleship and you only get 50% of your SRP for the battleship, I know why people don't undock their battleship. But if you get 120% for your Atron, for example, or somebody says, hey, you tackled very nice, here's some loot, or that pays people out. People learn, and you only learn if you lose ships. If you don't undock and you don't lose ships, you don't learn. Even if you kill everything. Like, if you're the perfect player and you start this game and you're just killing because your group is great, there will come the point which something happens you didn't learn, like you never had the experience to what happens if your shield extender burned out and your buffer is gone because you whatever. You need to lose sometimes, and then you need to stand up, and every time we lose and we stand up, we grow, and so we grow forever and get bigger and bigger. And I play this game for 14 years, and I'm still losing ships. I still get decloaked. I still do stupid stuff. But I also chuckle always when I do stupid stuff and it works. Against players which are definitely more professional in their way what they do. But my tactic turns out and I'm like, got you. So yeah.
No, I totally agree that, the SRP and the handouts are a great way to get new players to come out. It's like that little worm on the end of the fishing stick. But now, I have another question for you. Do you think that toxicity is keeping players from undocking today in 2025?
Okay. Let me hold on. I was 2 years ago. I was doing. I was thinking about be a food blogger, and I'd done a mayo video, which I roughly explained how you do mayonnaise, and I got 2 million views on it. Over, I don't know how many comments, and God, I hate it. Holy moly, God, I hate it from the internet. And there's a fact about mayonnaise. So there is it's comes from the French people. It's one of the crown sauce, or the basic sauce of the kitchen. It's the cold one, so it's super special, and it's a base of a lot of others. Not mentioning remoulade and going further, blah blah blah. From there, I was like, people don't care what they say on the internet. They're just shouting it out, and they don't see the other side getting it. And it took me a time to not walling it, but be like, dude, I don't know you. I have no idea what happened today in the morning if your cat shit on the floor and you stepped on it before you had your coffee, and then you went to the PC and you saw my video and you comment this is bullshit or something, or you hated me. I don't know. I don't know this person. So I was like, I don't know you. If my friends say, hey, this video is shit and you are super stupid and please take it offline, I'm like, yeah, but I found it funny. So I keep it. What should happen? And in EVE, it's like, if if people don't like you, like let's say they come in local and you do something they don't like, they start either like complaining about you, then they harassing, bad language, all the stuff. And as in Brave, we say we stay as a gentleman. And honestly, if I wouldn't be in Brave, I would replay in local. I would challenge that. I would feed the trolls and I would give them like oil as much, but it doesn't help. It doesn't make any sense in life to just harass and something. You just need to be kind. And if you're kind and you replay like, hey guy, we don't want to in our space. That's why we're sitting here. And yes, we have issues to catch you because we don't have the right chips right now, or you're super fast. But it doesn't mean you need to write in the local chat like, "Hey, you stupid cunts, you're not catching me, and stop doing that." I'm like, yes, it's fine. This just pushes our egos to catch you, because once we get you, we can smear that chat again under your nose and say, "Hey, somehow these noobs tackled you." So we made bad, but we are lucky. So you stay above it somehow.
So this summer we had a campaign out in Providence where the Eve community came together to go after Absolute Order because of the toxicity within the organization. What are your feelings on that? Are you proud of the Eve community for coming together? Did you think that it wasn't really their business? What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, punching them, yes, of course. Like show them that you can play the game, but if you go into certain spaces which we don't like you, or we don't like the idea of the whole thing, you go. Overall, I don't think that's a very good idea to have a role-playing alliance into this specific. I'm not sure. Like I saw the memes and everything, and I was like, "Boy, this is super critical," because I'm German, and I see both sides. So I was in America and once on vacation, and not to say that this is responsible for everybody in America or for the USA or whatever. So it was a hostel. We were drinking, and everybody who knew I was German, I got Hitler jokes, and I was like, yeah, at least you remember this time. You know what happens and you can remember the name. But once I told them that this guy is from Austria, it was already gone. Because Arnold Schwarzenegger comes from Austria, and that doesn't match. So, anyway, so going to roleplay in this direction and also have these memes and everything, I found this super critical. Very hot topic to touch from anything above. So if it's like you're a CCP and you see the Reddit and the posts and everything, you say, yeah, but it's outside my game. And if I don't see these conversation in game, which are forbidden, like you cannot do that stuff. Always you get the player name changed. But if they say under the whatever, I'm in Discord and I can post my shit there, I'm like, no, you can't.
Yeah.
No, it's just the same thing. If I'm in this Discord in Germany and I get this content on my PC, then yeah, I'm fucked. So I couldn't be in this corporation or in this alliance or on this Discord, not to be with one foot and to be something very grayish.
So
I would love that CCP would say that there's a certain level of stuff you can do with role playing and going into direction, but I mean, sure there must be like every company has that they say we are for the freedom expression and everything, and I think CCP has the same. Like nobody is going the other way. It be stupid.
So this just came on my radar today. So you are the first candidate that actually gets to answer this question. I just found out that there is a CSM candidate that is from Absolute Order that has applied. What are your feelings on that?
I mean, he can apply. he can be chosen. But I tell you this here, to the respective of what happens or what I saw on the Discord, and he is doing Hitler jokes in front of me, I will slap him. I don't care. On the other side, if he is a nice dude, I will have drinking beer with him and chucking about stuff and talking about stuff, and he will probably say that, or that he give insights and says that's a certain group, that's certain people, that's the loud shouting people you have. Like, if think about following, you go back into your village, into the there were all the people drinking, so all the old people, and there are probably in this pub, there are two people which like they shout a lot bad stuff, but they would not never do anything like that. This doesn't mean they shouldn't exist. That doesn't mean they are allowed to do that publicly. And this doesn't mean they're allowed to post their memes and stuff on their Discord. But they are there, and you need to step in to just stop them in a certain level. So they can do that in their private area, whatever. But if you go into the internet, then contenance. Right. Stop it. Like, I don't need to discuss political stuff in Eve, because it's already like big enough in my normal life, and this doesn't work out. So how should the Eve people like help me out in my political issues in Germany? Right. So I want to play this game to get distracted, and I cannot understand, like, if I want to play this game and somehow I get lured into this corporation via high-sec, low-sec mining, they may be doing very organized fleets in like heavy doing high-sec mining with all the boost, the safety measures and everything, and they have a very nice talking on their comms, and the comms are super nice, yeah. And then one guy pings a fleet, hey, we need to raid low-sec and we need to burn it down, and he does some slang slurrings or something, which we don't need to repeat or so. And I joined this fleet and get my first PvP experience because I just joined. I may overlook that and say maybe it's just kind of his storytelling, but after the second or the third fleet and the first two memes I see with something, I would be like, okay, wait. Something is horrible wrong here, and I should do some research and check it out. And then I don't mind if you drop out of this corporation and go somewhere else, because I mean, you started the game, it's overwhelming, you're getting a helping hand from somebody to join this corporation, and it's your first experience, and you kind of like the vibes, the military drill. You don't look into this deeper, because you're still complex. You're like, should I skill into the venture or into the Vexor? Ooh, yeah. And then you come with like, okay, corporation politics on top of that, and what is the bad history of that, and should I join or should I not, and do they scam me or not? Ooh. Okay, yeah, I get why people get into this corporation, but then you also need to get out of this corporation once you realize what's happening there. Or if you are in that, step up. Step up and teach, tell the people that it doesn't work, and be the louder voice in that and saying like, hey, you cannot say that, and please stop that and do it differently. Like, okay, do Caesar. There's also like a whole weird story about people liking the Romans, and it's going crazy. So go there. There are many other history things you can follow, but just don't that one.
Indeed. Okay, so we are slowly winding down in this interview. We have a few more questions, and these are going to be CSM-specific questions. The first one is, what other type of candidates do you think you want to work with or are much needed on the CSM for CSM20?
Well, I was looking through the threads, and there's a lot of people which has very interesting ideas and balancing checks and points they want to improve or done already in the past, which I really like. For me, it's about I would need to have like, let's say, like a really nice round table or something, and you can sniff each other to talk with them and getting a feeling about how they interact. But just reading the text and what they do, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's good points. And then you have a talking and you feel like, okay, yeah, all his points is about stomach feelings from one specific group or something, or one section. And I'm like, yes, that's a good point. I need one of these people from Night Cycle, Wormhole, and all the other stuff, which like gather their feedback. But then again, as said in the beginning, if they talk about this, if you have access to some of the polished data from CCP in the background, decisions are much different and easier to do, because it's like I'm happy to have somebody telling me, hey, yeah, this is a big issue with NICEC with the combat sites, and then somebody else from CCP is like, yeah, don't say no more. Here's the statistics you need to show, and I cannot prove this statement, but what I can see is this issue, and this issue. So it's more about like let's see how the people interact with the interviews and how they present like in videos and talking, and then I could make a position who I want to work with. But honestly, I cannot choose in my work which who I work. So if people fuck up, they have me on the table, and I cannot choose. They can choose not to have me, but I cannot choose to not have them. So I'm used to have all kind of people, and I'm also like now you have me very lot talking, going into different directions, stuff like that. But if you're going into topics with a post-mortem and something like that to recover what happened or what should not happen next, it's very structured. And if I had somebody my like me right now, I would just cut them off sometimes and be like, okay, guy, you have very much points, and this is my whiteboard.
Well,
Do the bullet point brainstorming on it, and give me the biggest one, and we look after this for 5 minutes in the group and see if there are big points we actually missed or have covered.
so speaking of
So
speaking of the points, you have a lot of ideas, and you've talked about a lot of ideas in the interview already. How do you plan on showing CCP that you have player support for these ideas that you have?
oh yeah, that's a good question. I have no idea. Like I'm running the campaign thread, which nobody's asking question, which I see as a very positive thingy, because if nobody is complaining or giving positive feedback or anything, it's exactly that what is needed. And you can now say, yeah, that's stream thinking, and you should have like a very complex conversation on it and a discussion with players. And I'm like, when I have them already in Brave on the daily base in the standing fleet on the comms, when people talk about, then the event stuff is coming up and they're talking about stuff. Then I have the one guy logging in the Rockwell and telling me about what everything is bad. So somehow I'm thinking about, yeah, there comes the campaigning with I think CCP is announcing it with the players and everything, and then we can see how the land space look of all of the candidates. And from there, I'm looking into which directions I want to go. Like I'm thinking, as for me, I will reach out for more beginners. Also like UE rookies, because I like the style to like here with the AT starting stuff. What do you do with the beginners? I love it. So when I have time, I join it and explain stuff, or just fly to slot, or just clean the arena, so players have their fun. The one thing I want to do more is like doing the like fleets in this direction. So reaching out to EVE rookies, EVE University. I always had this idea in FanFest, and it's I have a lot of ideas, and that is my crux. Usually I want to have these ideas. I want to build them up into like something, and then I want to give it to somebody which does it further. And I may help out or something, because if you have 50 ideas, it doesn't work.
Yep. So
Yeah, going to like, yeah, if rookies, wormholes, some other discords, and then let's see who else does interviews, and then I will do maybe something on my YouTube channel, and then I think from Brave we have 3 candidates I know, so we will probably also funnel something through their YouTube channel to open them some space. But then if we open some space, I would also say we open it for everybody in CSM, so yeah, we would make some idea, like you doing it with the interviews. We would ask for people to like, do you want to present for 5 minutes or do you want to have an interactive whatever talk? Ooh, would be funny to have an interaction with like 10 people at once. Ooh.
Oh, even if he does that, it can be interesting.
I mean, you just to have the idea. All right, let's first finish our interview, and then we go into how we can do something funny with. There is word clustering, and that would be funny to have 10 peoples, and you only can answer one word to a specific topic, and it starts clustering.
Oh
We
no.
continue.
Okay, so last question. We'll keep that in mind. The CSM, I know in 18 we worked on projection quite a bit. I know 19 has worked on projection because CCP actually put out some fixes this year. CSM20 likely is going to have to keep going with that. Or do you think projection is fixed?
Ooh.
I know, tough one, right?
I mean, from my null sex perspective, which I would say is the biggest issue for projection, because we go from one region to another region and we kill it. And it's not like that high sec people going to invade wormhole space. So it's the big toys we have here with the projection stuff and like that. I would say it's solved for now because we have a bigger issue. Every time we do this, with like we have 1,000 people in system, and there are like 2 supers on the other side and 200 on the others, and we're not talking about the 1,000 threads somewhere else in system. We have 10% tie-dye, and as funny the game mechanics of tie-dye is, if you do here tie-dye tornadoes or something, it's not the nicest experience to have that. So it when it happens and we need to kill something big with the big toys, or as Goons showed with moving around from one region over like what was it, 3 regions. You can, any stones we put in the way, there are ways which we can organize and get over it. It just takes time right now, and that was from the beginning when I started Eve the biggest problem, because back then you were in Delph, and 10 minutes later you had your super fleet in here up in Vale of Silent, because there was just jumping from Sino to Sino, refueling, and Sino, and then you were there. And now you have all the balance stuff behind it. Question is now, is it too much? Or do we fix more into the direction to make the time intense? And then we come back to what I learned from my exploration stuff. There is a reason why I fly a pacifier, because the Pateo principle, for exploration, the most time what I do is traveling. So I need a fast ship. Currently, what my thread does, or my super is, it does traveling a lot, which is time intense. But once it's in position, I'm ready to do whatever is needed.
Right.
But I would not say we need to look further into this. But I'm curious about if we go into other directions of, I don't know, like there was mentioned in some patch notes or in some of these podcasts called to have different antiplexes. Like one which goes further, one which whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I'm about like, from the projection thingy, which is always a focus about like the no-sec experience and this driving out. So you're from high sec, null sec, and then null sec is the sandbox. And I'm like, there must be a balance between having your own castle in Nilsec and the option to break this castle down in like a nice fashioned gaming way and not falling back into medieval ages, which you like camp it for 24 days with bubbles until the moral break. That's how it works, and it's huge work of players, but they need something different, something funny. I don't know. Maybe we should look back into the Dark Age of Camelot, how they done it there. I mean,
interesting.
This game died, so maybe it was not good, but there's a lot of like other games which try to have the idea of this have your own basement movement, stuff like that, how you want to do it. I mean, in the end, CCP needs to decide on their thing what they want. Do you want to have people like currently, if you look at the map, which reason do you have to move from your region into another region? Let's say we take Gorista and Angel Space. So Goristas do the PivX type shield boosters, which is the powerful ones, but they take a lot of cap. And the Angel ones have the one which have less power, like they're not so good, but they also take less cap. That's the faction loot which we have in this space, plus all the other stuff there. So the only reason why I would go to Gorista space is that Fraternity, for example, is manipulating the market with, let's say, with the A types. Let's be like this, like theory, and not true. Like that's other people which manipulating the market. It's not Fred. The only reason to go into their space would be like, yeah, I want to have access of this one specific resources. This goes same for Explo. So there's also some stuff like the intact armor plates in the Sunshine space, blah, 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 which are very value for the rig production. That would be the only reason to take over another region. And to have everything, you need to have everything. So if to have all the specific niche little items, you need to have a blue donut, which... yes, like kind of boring, but then we would have everything and can trade everything, so this won't happen. So I don't see what is driving right now like a nomadic life. Currently we are in the state of like we castling up, we enjoying our life in Nilsec, we improving our how's it called, the economic stuff and everything, and we're having fun. Like we playing the game, low sec people playing the game, high sec people playing the game, we're logging in daily. But there's no reason for us to go into another region right now. Like we are not thirsty for their resources, and as long I can buy my A-type in Jita for a reasonable price, I'm happy to buy it there and also give a chunk of ISK to somebody else, because they maintain the space, they maintain a player base, they maintain somebody ratting the space, and they maintain as well somebody running the escalations. And then there's another guy which is exporting the stuff to Jita, and then there's another guy which is selling the stuff in Jita. So there's a lot of people doing work to giving me the A PIF type in Jita. I don't see the point to go into the space. Like if the big one, the high leads, whatever perspective and management lead they have, and they say, hey, I see weakness in your position, and it would be nice to acquire this region to our space, and you can be my slave, whatever, how they called it, like this, no, not slave. Schattenstaat, no, that's also not the word. Like if somebody is vassal, so they supporting you and giving you all the resources, and you just protect them. Renters, that's the word.
Renter, okay.
Yeah. So like kind of you get their space, and then you like, hey, we like you, but we like your space. You can stay there. We rent that space out to you, not for money, because I want ships. I need threads. I need Atrons. I need Cormorants. I need rigs. All that stuff. Maybe that's an option.
Well, unfortunately, we are out of time. We're gonna have to tell us why Why should we vote for you, and why should my communities put you on our ballot?
I can't stop fixing stuff. Never. I see stuff which doesn't work, and then I want to have it fixed. So two FanFests ago, I complained about that there's no like you get drink water there, and Iceland has very nice drink water, and I don't want to fill my bottle on the toilet. I don't have an issue to fill my bottle on the toilet. I'm also eating stuff which falls on the ground if it doesn't touch it for 3 seconds. I'm a village guy. So but I want to have stuff which doesn't work need to be fixed, and I I dislike bad service, bad behavior, bad culture, and stuff like that. So at a certain point, at a certain money level or something, I just want to see that stuff gets fixed in the right way, and I also want to see where the bottleneck is. I want to see if there is a mismanagement with the devs and the production and stuff like that. So therefore, I need to see how they organize or talk their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I do this in my company, so not to be doxing, but you can Google it anyway. So blah blah blah. But I do this in my company, and I see that a lot of people which do something, you get stuck in discussions about should it be in A or in B. And I don't want to have a discussion about something it should be A or B. I want to have it like, okay, you say there's an issue with A and B. Nobody else has this issue.
Mm-hmm.
I need arguments, facts, which prove that this is an issue we need to focus. And everybody else in this group, since he is eager on this topic, so somebody has a problem with that, and he's like, it need to be fixed. And I'm like, there must be a point. So I would give him the option that everybody else is going to the other side, and it's like, okay, what else do we have which goes into this direction, and which we can make like have an overlapping circle. So we just, if we see, hey, this is small, but we see that's interacting with this, and this, and they didn't thought about that. And now you bring that up on the table, and they join your group because you're right. And we didn't knew that. And everybody would shut you down because you just the screamy one. Now we know for sure there are 3 other departments which didn't thought about that. And I have that all the time, that if you go and help this one person into going this direction and checking with others in a very nice way and short way, because you don't want to have a 15-minute communication about it, they're like, yeah, I didn't knew that. Let me check that. 5 minutes later, you get a replay like, yes, that's an issue. We didn't thought about it. We're taking this into our next daily, and I will report back to you. And maybe it comes something better that says, yeah, it's minor. But if I have 50 minor issues, it's one major big one, depending on if it's the same topic. So, okay. Yeah.
All right.
Let's see. I want to see that, and then we can improve. Maybe they don't need that. They may be perfect, and it's just we need more workforce.
So
more hamsters.
Where can people find you on the internet if they like what you're talking about and they want to ask questions or debate with you, whatnot?
You have the CSM channel, because currently nobody is responding to that, so you can choose this. You can hit me up under Smasher and Discord. Alternative is you join Brave, and then we see us in Brave. Actually, with Brave and Goons and everything, I'm not judging, but do we not already covering like 30% of the nullsec player base? So I just need to talk about the other 70%, which is high sec, low sec, and the other nullsec, and I have no idea. You only have my YouTube channel. You can go to the Brave Dojo channel and look there what's going on. And if you want to get in touch with me personally, then it's Discord with Smasher. But you can also find these contact details in the CSM thread.
Do you answer Eve mail?
I also answer Eve mail.
Awesome.
Like, it's an in-game system. It's there. People also... sometimes people write in local like, hey, can you send me the YouTube link and stuff like that? And then I'm like, yeah, I'm putting them into a list, and then I'm writing Eve mails in-game to them. And they also replay. So there is a small player base which knows the in-game mail system.
Awesome. Well, it was great interviewing you. Best of luck for CSM20, and we will talk to you soon.
Nice.